gonna have to give you a raise the more Porsches you get us.
Yeah, that's what I tell Porsche. It's just fun. It's good for us. Look at these wheels. I don't think I've seen such open wheels in a really long time.
Yeah, they have
breathability.
Excellent brake cooling.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny seeing this car in person versus in photos. It looks so much better in person.
It does.
The proportions are really nice. I did not like the 992 in photos, and then looking at this in the flesh.
If you had fallen asleep for 5 years starting in 2017 and woke up now, you'd be like, something's different about the 911, but I'm not exactly sure what. They managed to do such a progressive step with every generation. It's really incredible. I'd say the interior probably has more differences, but there are some complaints of the base 911s feeling a little bit cheap, but that doesn't translate here in the Turbo S.
No. How much is this? About 200 grand?
226.
226.
Yep. Really a performance bargain, though.
Sure. Yeah, and it all follows suit on the interior too. Really nice buttons, switches, everything has a great look and feel. This screen is gorgeous.
This is your genuine first impressions of this car.
I haven't, this is the first time I've sat in it.
Sometimes you do first impression videos and you've driven it to a lot or something, but this is genuine.
This is not cheating at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. So where are our drive modes? Right here.
Right where you need them.
All right, excellent. Sport Plus, individual.
TOPHER doesn't bother with normal mode.
Well then.
That'll wake you up.
I love these gauges, they're so clear.
The resolution on every screen is impressive, and the responsiveness.
Again, another thing that looks great in person,
Yes.
doesn't translate in photos. Well, this week I was thinking, you know, this time in the 911 is gonna determine, should I just keep saving for a Porsche, or do I just say screw it and get another Miata and just call it a day and drive Miatas for the rest of my life? Unfortunately, it's looking like
This might be an expensive week for you.
gonna have to keep saving. This thing is just awesome. Heated, cooled seats, active exhaust. I'm sure this is loaded with pretty much every single option.
It's fairly loaded, but I think it's only about 20 grand over base.
Okay. How do we launch control?
Simply brake and gas.
All right, we're in Sport Plus. Brutal. Just brutal. Wow.
It's incredible.
Wow.
And the contrast between this and something like that 720S we had a month ago, very similar performance figures. This is technically quicker, the 720S would be faster on top speed, but the way they go about that performance and the experience behind each of them are entirely different.
Sure.
This is like clearly a luxury piece. And when you're not logging it, I mean, you're normal now, but even Sport or Sport Plus, the shifts are fairly conservative. It's only when you really lean into it hard that it wows you, just like that. It doesn't demand it the way the 720 does.
Sure.
This is a touring car at the end of the day.
It really is. This is amazing.
Sounds good so far though, and Apple CarPlay looks great on here. The rest of the infotainment system works well. I mean, every control is logical. It's where you think it would be. I mean, you're just getting to drive this car and you figure out everything immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see a 911 with very user-friendly interior ergonomics in 2021, 2022.
They didn't go too crazy. They didn't go GTI.
Do you miss having the ability to shift down here in the middle of a corner?
I was thinking that
going sideways,
shooting the winding road drive today. I was thinking to myself, they went Mercedes-esque, and they, they're just paddle shifters now at this point. But I don't think I really miss it. I know in the GT3, even the PDK GT3, you still get a big old shifter down there, so you can still do it in that car. And the Turbo and Turbo S, they're just not made to be that style car. They're not expecting the owners to be hooning it around and wanting that more authentic sort of shifting experience.
This is just a puny little looking thing though.
It is. You just pretty much grab it.
The GTI we had a few weeks ago had the same dual clutch setup.
Yep.
It seems like an automatic Sport Plus transmission shifts are just perfectly calibrated.
The steering feel too, for me, has just been...
Oh, Sport Response. Is that like an overboost function down there? You press the button?
Not overboost, but fully intense mode. So even if you were normal and you were to press that, you get 20 seconds of the hardest core everything.
Nice.
Hold gear all the way out and stuff.
Wow, okay.
Yep. But no, it makes full torque without overboost, unlike the previous Turbo S. Just long enough for an on-ramp.
Yeah. What a subdued monster.
Right. Eight-speed
dual clutch. Spoiler goes down. So extend spoiler, reduced ground clearance. So does the front end lower a little bit in Sport Plus mode?
I think it does, because it does have the lift for when you need to get over speed bumps or into driveways.
A Porsche with a nose lift is the most usable car you need. That's it. That's the goal.
It's the ultimate daily.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
I like the steering wheel a lot. It's just the perfect size.
It's so thin. You can just grab it, and it's just strong. And they managed to integrate the controls without making it look bulbous or out of place. It still looks like a sports steering wheel with just the right amount of controls.
It has a grip on it that feels like a nice DSLR camera. You can just grab, you can feel like you really torque it with one hand if you need to, but really you get a lot of nice feel on. The paddles are small, but they're really well placed. They feel high quality. Everything's cohesive in here. This headliner's beautiful too. I mean, for $226,000.
Yeah, it does kind of go back to what do you expect, but there are certainly $200,000 cars that don't fit every bill the way this does.
The Turbo's never quite howled like the Carrera S or the GT cars, but this still sounds pretty good. It's a little bit more gruff and rugged sounding.
Right. Yeah, the Sport exhaust that's on here, I think it's new for 2021. It doesn't entirely change the character of the car, but it does sound good. It's just enough little extra bark to know that you have a little something.
Sound like with it off.
It's not drastically different. It's just a little more lawnmower-y sounding.
Yeah, you still get pops. That's nice.
Yep. For certain people, this is just the right amount of attention that they want, which is not a lot. I mean, it's enough for people you drive by and people are like, ooh, that's a sharp 911.
I've always liked a silver 911 Turbo.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was sitting on a porch at a friend's house, and a 993 Turbo rolled by, and it was in silver, just like this. And like that was like my childhood poster board moment where I was like, ooh, I want a 911 someday. And And I grew out of like wanting a Corvette kind of, but the 911 has always stuck with me. Wait, am I out of battery
No,
already?
that was my camera.
Oh, that was your camera. Okay.
It turns on periodically. 0-10 problems.
Yeah, just amazing. Actually, let's go the other direction. It's so fast. It just bleeds off slowness. Front end's really sharp too. Will it always upshift into the next gear? Or
No,
will
if
it
you are in
hold revs?
M mode, it'll hold.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, which is my ideal way to have it. Because sometimes, first and second, the shifts happen so fast, you almost can't do them.
Yeah.
You'd have to time it so perfectly in manual mode.
What a perfectly tuned dual clutch too.
Yep.
It's not
right there.
rough, it's smooth when you're just cruising at low revs. That extra kickdown sometimes feels a little bit unnecessary.
I think
But we are in Sport Plus mode.
the shift tuning in Sport Plus could be a little bit more aggressive. I do like when you get in the car and you're in Sport Plus mode and it holds gears a long time.
Yeah.
In this car, even in Sport Plus, if you're driving very aggressively for 5 or 10 seconds, it learns that and it will hold gears for a while, but I would like that to happen right away in Sport Plus, and it doesn't always. But that's, I mean, we're talking really minor nitpicks
Sure.
on an otherwise excellent transmission.
I'm sure on track it would figure it out eventually, but
Exactly.
you're right, it feels like it needs like a track mode to really just go hardcore.
Yep.
Like when you press the Sport Response
You're
button,
right.
it's
Then it's
more
right there.
intense than the Sport Plus shift programming.
Yes.
And if you could have that all the time in like a track mode, then maybe that would be the ideal scenario.
But again, you want a tracked 911, you get the GT3 or a GT2.
And also just shift the gears
Yeah,
yourself.
just
There's
shift
only
yourself.
8 of them. You can handle it.
This spec is going to look really good in your Porsche labeled garage with the gray walls and the red lettering.
I used to have, well, the guy who used to have our house, he had a Turbo S, and he used to have turbo stickers up on the wall, but I took them down.
There we
'cause-
go. You got to put them back up for this.
Yeah. Nice and quiet at speed too.
Yeah, and you're doing faster than I expected you to be doing, to be honest, based on the sound.
I'm just trying to stay ahead of this edge that's just flying behind me.
Tough competition for the 911.
And I assume wet is kind of an eco mode.
Can't tell you I've used it.
Yeah.
You can feel the all-wheel drive system putting down torque just perfectly when you were getting on that on-ramp there. I mean, it never feels like dicey.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Wow. Brakes were pretty phenomenal.
Standard carbon ceramics on the Turbo
Yeah.
S.
Everything is just, it's like the McLaren in that everything is effortless with this car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with the sport suspension off in this, the way it takes some of the larger bumps and filters everything out to be firm but not crashy has been impressive.
I have zero complaints about the ride quality.
Sure.
It's perfect. But
McLaren was
yeah,
impressive as well, you're right.
Yeah, they're both really good. It's
Yeah.
nice to see cars with this level of performance.
Yeah.
They can handle Michigan roads with ease and they're fine. Finally a car that can keep up with a Tesla. Well, what a pleasure, what a joy.
Yeah.
We're gonna be coming out with some more videos on this later this week. Check out Charlie's channel, Daily Motor, if you haven't already. What are you doing on this? Sound system test, fuel economy test, review?
Yep. We'll
3 videos?
Yep, at least. We'll have the full Burmester audio system review, so check that out. We'll actually have a members only test for people who want to see the copyrighted music and kind of the behind the scenes on that. There's a winding road video, there's a DM test drive. I'm sure you'll have a few videos. You'll probably take it out at night, show off these beautiful screens in the darker light.
Oh, we were normal that whole time. Fantastic. I'm really surprised too at how sharp the front end is on this. I remember when 911 front ends were a little bit light, and you had a little bit of understeer, and you had to kind of work around that, let off the throttle, kick it in a bit more. That's the thing of the past. They've gotten these cars so well dialed in. 255s
in the front, 315s in the rear don't hurt that either. It's an amazing machine, and it's one that you could tell would just be satisfying to own, to have around in your stable, and not just a lot of the exotic type cars with this performance are impressive but almost exhausting from an ownership perspective, and I don't think you'd have that from this.
No, there's nothing that would be exhausting about this, and the fact that you get a nose lift and the extra usability from that is just awesome. You have great visibility in here, a usable back seat as a shelf or place to put kids. Like, this is it. No, this is actually one of the first turbos that I've driven that I've really, like, this is a car that I could be sold on. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it still keeps in the, you know, the 911 turbo philosophy of just being that one car.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it all. Really do it all.
Cool.
And do it better.
And it looks so good.
It does. Yeah, perfect spec with the red below, but not an overpowering red like some cars going, and then I'm glad they kept this black.
What does the key look like?
The key looks like a 911.
So you don't have a key over here anymore, you just have a little switch that turns over. Nice. Yeah. They've been rocking this shape for a while.
Yeah, it's the right shape.
Yep. Whew. Smelly brakes. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. True first impressions on this 911 drive. We'll be putting out some more videos here soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.